Okay, so now we're just going to start doing the effleurage, and so I'm just draping one more time, just pulling the sheet back and then tucking it under, and then firmly securing it on each side. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just if you can make it so that it doesn't seem sloppy or all bunched up, you know, because also the oil will accumulate on the sheets in this space if you have too much folding in the sheets. So now I'm going to apply some oil. So you could use a massage oil, or you could use a lotion or a cream. It really is a personal preference. If you're worried about oil on your carpet or, you know, staining your sheets or something like that, lotions and creams tend to be more user-friendly for that type of thing. But if you're massaging at home and you like the sensation of oil and it warms up really nice in your hands, it's really nice for winter time too, I find, because it warms in your hands, whereas a lotion is nice for the summer because it's cooling. For this particular training, I'm going to use oil because the oil will just kind of spread, and you'll be able to see how I'm doing that. So I'm warming up the oil in my hand now, and I'm just placing my hands way down low here on top of her pelvis. And this is effleurage, remember. We've already learned in this course what effleurage is. They're long, light strokes. And what happens is when we effleurage up the back like this, we kind of come all the way across towards the armpit. You can see me coming across towards the armpit right here. And the reason for that is because I am pushing circulation towards the heart. And I'm pushing it towards the nearest lymphatic chain where lymphatic drainage happens. So that's at the axilla area or at the armpits here. So, and when I come back down, I lighten the pressure on my hands. Effleurage in Latin means skim or to lightly stroke, and that's exactly what effleurage moves are. They're very light, often long strokes, but they can also be shorter. But one thing to keep in mind, that whenever you're doing effleurage, the pressure is towards your heart, and as you come away, you lighten off the stroke because you are increasing circulation and you're taking it to the nearest lymph sort of reservoir where it can be returned back to the heart. So you want to take that fluid and sort of encourage it to go towards the nearest lymph chain or the nearest lymph, I'm calling it reservoir. That's not really a term, but if you understand what I'm saying. So I've got some oil on here already, and I'm just taking my hands. Now, one thing that people often do when they first start, and especially if they have longer nails, you do want to try to keep as much contact of your hand on the body as you're moving along. And then as you get up here, you can go right over the shoulder and towards that lymph reservoir or that lymph area called the axilla. So this is underneath the armpit, and this is where a lot of lymphatic nodes are, and this is where you're pushing that circulation. And then as you come back down, you just kind of lightly come back down. Now let's try that again. So we're just stroking up and lightly coming back down, and this feels absolutely wonderful, actually. And the slower you go, the more relaxing it is. And the faster you go, you can imagine, the more stimulating this move is. So you're still doing the same thing, but say if you wanted to put someone to sleep or calm their nervous system, you would move more slowly. Maybe even integrate your own breath with theirs. But when you're going quickly, it's kind of like, hey, you know, wake up a little bit and get your energy moving. Now when we're down here and we come back down, again you could do a short effleurage in this lower back, say if we're doing later on some of the kneading techniques. You can push the lymph to the inguinal area, which is in the groin. So we're just kind of moving that circulation in that direction. Okay? So, and as you can see, every single time I move my hands on her body, both of my hands have a full contact. Sometimes what I see in these classes is people come and they're like, you know, they're kind of like this and their fingers are off the body, or, you know, they're kind of cupped like this and their palm is away from the body. It just doesn't feel the same way. You want to have a full contact. Does that feel different when I do it that way? Yes. So let's try a kneading technique now that actually is very relaxing. They often, you might, if you've received a massage in a spa, this movement is called wringing. And so what it is it might look a little bit like effleurage, but it's actually a two-handed move whereby you're actually kind of like wringing out the person's back. So I've put the oil on my hands, and now I'm just, you know, transversing across her back. And I'm kind of picking up her flesh a little bit, you know, and I can even sort of bend down so that my hand here has the equal contact as the other side. And this actually is very relaxing. How do you feel, Carolyn?
Yes, so good.
Yeah, so this is a really nice move. And this move can actually go into some other even deeper work. Say if you had somebody who had some kind of respiratory problem or some congestion in their lungs or something, you could very succinctly kind of work a little bit into their rib cage. And this is another petrissage move that's actually called raking. And so I'm just kind of spreading my fingers through her ribs like that. And then if I wanted to do this side, I could just come around her body and I could do that. But just for the sake of doing the video, I'm just going to show you. So just to make her feel very symmetrical, we're also working on this side. Yeah, and then, true to what I said, I could just go ahead after doing some wringing, I could do some effleurage and just flush out her back again.